Thank you so much. Thank you for joining as well for the AEC Spotlight on Building Insight. I'm May. I'm the District Sales Manager for Geberit in the New York metro area. And up next, we have just introducing Geberit as a company. We are here in North America, pretty much located, headquartered in Des Plaines, Illinois. And we offer concealed systems for wall-mounted toilets, lavatory sinks, bidets, urinals. The Geberit group is actually part of a larger group that started in Europe, and we're celebrating 150 years as a global innovator of sanitary products. Just as a brief history, we started back in 1874 in Rapperswil, Switzerland. And in 1905, we were one of the first to make the wooden cisterns. And then 1964, we developed the first concealed system when it comes to water closets. And ever since, Geberit's just continued to innovate and expand its systems. And up next, just as part of sustainability and being leaders in that, EcoVadis is a platform that's developed into one of the world's largest provider of sustainability ratings, with global network of over 100,000 rated companies. They conduct risk and performance assessments in about 200 industries in 175 countries. The analysis is around environment, labor and human rights, ethics, and sustainable procurement. Geberit was awarded a platinum medal for about 3 years in a row. And that's mostly just when it comes to EcoVadis. So, there's been a lot of different contributions to green building as well. Geberit's contributed greatly in just a lot of these different areas, from durability, backward compatibility, long-term availability, and spare parts. Just a little bit about some of these is, when it comes to durability, Geberit products have service lives that span over decades because of the high quality materials used and strict quality standards applied. They also have backwards compatibility, which means that older products can actually be enhanced with the addition of new components and functions, meaning you don't ever have to necessarily completely replace the products and stuff. We also guarantee the availability of spare parts for up to about 50 years on concealed systems and 25 years for a significant proportion of the products. So there's also just water savings, recycling, a lot of different areas for space savings, ease of maintenance, and fire protection even. So large categories in terms of the contribution. So this is a little bit of just the different types of rating systems that we offer as well. It just speaks to, and it just speaks to the commitment through the efforts to contribute to sustainability efforts worldwide. So just a few to name, the UNGC is the UN Global Impact, and the SDG is Sustainable Development Goals. They have about 17 goals to support about for 2030 agenda for sustainable development. They're really driven by the UN. And in terms of ratings, you already heard about EcoVadis, but there's also just the CDP, which is the Carbon Disclosure Project. It's a not-for-profit type of charity that's about global disclosure systems for investors, companies, really just to kind of, it's been founded in London for resulting in kind of scoring when it comes to carbon footprint. And a lot of the certifications and labels really just kind of speak to the different areas that we constantly are trying to improve and make an effort to just have rigorous testing and approvals. So this is a little bit of like a model calculation of flush volumes, and this was since 1952. So it's rated by one person that uses about the toilet about 5 times daily, with the idea that they use one big flush and 4 small flushes. And back in the 50s, the usage was about 70 liters. This equates to about 18.5 gallons. And then you move into 1976, where it's gotten reduced into, well, they've introduced the stop and go flush. This had reduced it down to 8.7 gallons per day of usage. And now today, in 2022, it's able to progress to as low as 3.7 gallons of usage per day, which is a huge feat. So environmental product declarations are something that kind of evaluates the cradle to grave usage and production of products. It goes through all of the different life cycles. Having the EPDs available is really about kind of making sustainable improvements year after year. For the water closet system, it can actually be dismounted and disassembled with ease. All connections are either screwed in or clicked into place, so it's really easy. All plastics are also 100% recyclable. The service life is for about 25 years, and the average transport is also less than about 500 kilometers, which is about 311 miles. I had to look up all the conversions on this. So Geberit systems are just about everywhere. They can actually fit within residential, multifamily, hotels, hospitality, modular, as well as other places. In Europe alone, they're in everything from just railroad transport to airports, hotels, as well as residential apartments. So a lot of popular projects that this can actually fit within is also new construction, remodels, even conversions and adaptive reuse, and basement bathrooms. Especially for the New York area, it's nice and compact, so it's been a really good fit when it comes to metropolitan apartments and smaller spaces that you just want to have everything nice and neat, and makes it easy. So there's several benefits when it comes to using wall-mounted toilets over the floor mount that you traditionally see. A couple of things is, you have a lot of space savings of up to 9 inches, a lot of different flush plates. As you can see, all you only see on the wall is the wall hung bowl and then the flush actuator. And when you use dual flush, which is most of these wall-mounted toilets, you save about 6,000 gallons annually. You can also adjust the height to the user's preference. And also it can be easily installed into a 2x4 or a 2x6 wood or metal stud wall. So just 5 reasons to choose wall-mounted. A big part of it is that space savings. Everything is, the square footage is always about like maximizing profits, and you save about 2 square feet when you use a wall-mounted over a floor mount that can only be, between 26 inches to 31 inches a lot of times in the depth. So these ones are a lot less just space. The other is hygiene, because you have the floor is all exposed. You can easily clean, hot mop. There's a lot fewer places for germs and dust to accumulate. And then when you add on a touchless actuator, it allows you for less touch zones or touch points. The other part is the strength and durability. The carrier itself can support up to 880 pounds. It can actually support more than that, but then the wall surface starts to give, and you don't really want to exceed that. And then there's the aesthetic design in that it's nice, very clean, and often gives you that modern feel. The other major part of it is in the metropolitan area, there's a lot of different sounds, everything from outside to inside that you just want to reduce. So because everything is concealed in the wall, it reduces the sound significantly. on that front. And on the next slide, so there's a lot of accessibility benefits. You can actually install this into ADA stalls. People are often kind of going into wanting more of a residential feel rather than a very like institutional look. And this gives you the ability for that, especially because, you know, instead of having a flush valve, when you have everything concealed in the wall, it gives you a lot less space, less barriers, so that you can reach the grab bars easily. When you have the flush actuator just flush with the wall, it also makes it like a lot cleaner looking. And it can be installed between the 17 to 19 inch for meeting the ADA heights as well. So for dual flush systems, you know, the big part of encouraging more of these is that about toilets pretty much consume about 25 to 30% of the indoor water usage. And this is above all other household fixtures and appliances. So there's been a huge emphasis on trying to reduce this as much as possible. So as you know, you had like older products that had like 6 gallons, and then it got reduced slightly to 3 gallons, and now we're at like 1.5 to just about a gallon now of usage. It's reducing your water bills up to about $110 as well. And a lot of these Geberit carriers can accommodate many different toilet brands, as well as meeting the needs for water sense standards and lead points. So some considerations when it comes to the installation of these in-wall systems. The finished wall can be anywhere between 3/4 of an inch to 3.5 inches. For the wall itself, it wouldn't be recommended to use glass or mirrored materials, mostly because they're brittle and they can shatter sometimes easily, and that's kind of a little bit of a hazard. And then also framing is, you know, fits a lot of different configurations as well. So you can actually have them sort of interdependent when it comes to the carrier selection, to the seat height, to whatever pretty much actuator style you'd like to use. And the plumbing is just a standard 3/8 of an inch wide. And the great thing about it is, you know, in high rises, it can actually accommodate for pressure of up to 2 to 125 PSI. Whereas a lot of commercial settings and stuff like that, a lot of times will require at least about 15 PSI, which is a lot to try to boost, especially because of the costs involved with trying to increase the pressure of the building. So we are the universal carrier for all of the different manufacturers of toilet bowls. So they can actually fit everything from Kohler to Neo Metro to La Cava. And the great thing about it is that there are also third-party tested. And third-party testing really just shows like the compatibility. The other part is that they have to at least meet 600 grams of flushing or more on all of these on the MAP scores. And we even have it where on the clean design brochure, it shows the compatibility of all the carriers to the different bowls. And they even have it rated on good, better, best in terms of performance. So this is a really great way to see that it matches the performance of the products. So in-wall carrier systems are pretty much something that Geberit has kind of been doing for over 55 years. There's, you know, it started back in the Swiss Alps where they had like the ski lodge that they actually installed it into. And then ever since, they've actually expanded to 70 million concealed cisterns around the world. We are the #1 European leader when it comes to sanitary technology. And pretty much all of our concealed systems are 100% leak proof and have a 50-year guarantee on all the parts. A little bit about the carrier itself, especially because you don't see it in the when it's in the wall. Just the durability alone with the carrier is The flush tank is made of HDPE. It's a blow molded gravity flush tank. And it just means that there aren't any seams anywhere. And so they're actually made of the same material that your gas tanks on your car are made of. And you never expect that those will have a leak. The other is that, it's lifetime warranty on all of the tank as well as the frame itself. And it's a tool-free maintenance, meaning that when you just remove the actuator, you can actually access everything that you need in the tank itself. And you don't actually need any tools. Everything is hand tightened and clicks into place. There aren't any chains or flappers, so you don't have anything that's going to corrode or rust. And the other part is that you can actually mount these anywhere from 15 inches to 19 inches. We also have a small Omega carrier on the right side, and that one fits so that it's actually under 4 feet, especially if you have like a shelf or if you have a mirror on top, you can actually use that as well. So that's a really good option. So Geberit really fits within a lot of different solutions, and this is kind of just showing you the ideal setup when it comes to using the in-wall carrier system. So just a little bit about the different product range that we offer, and it really kind of goes into the next slide, sorry. So, this is just kind of the bare brick wall stage. It's pretty much everything that you would have for a new sort of construction. And then the next is usually going into having the venting as well as the drainage stack. And from there, you start to kind of lay out, the different systems. On the left, you have the in-wall carrier for a water closet. And then in the middle, you also offer the lavatory system where you can actually, it can actually accommodate about 330 pounds of weight. And especially when you're using like things such as, marble or really heavy materials, instead of just kind of drilling into the stud walls and stuff and expecting your anchor is going to hold, this one actually withstands up to actually 660 pounds because it can double its weight capacity. And you can bank them too. So we have the in-wall carriers for urinals, bidets, and those wash basins. And we actually in Europe have more of like the systems for showers as well on the right-hand side. And these can actually be installed back to back as well. And because they're only 4-inch or 6-inch depth, you can actually install them back to back, and it would only be about under 9 inches roughly in terms of like the in-wall cavity that's needed. And that's pretty much it for the product range on the installation system. And then the next, I believe, oh, went backwards again. How weird. Okay, so yeah, thank you. So when it comes to servicing, I know a lot of people ask me about this, especially because everything's in the wall. They don't know how to go about servicing. So they're reduced, especially because there's very few parts. There's only really 3 major parts that can be replaced inside of the tank. So that makes it really easy. And not only is it just something that you don't have to really use tools, you can do everything by hand. That photo there is just showing where the actuator is taken off, and people can actually easily just pull it up. And in New York alone, we actually work with the Plumbers Local 1 union, and we do a lot of trainings with them so that they're really familiar with how to use these and install them. So they're very educated when it comes to that area. So a lot of different elements when it comes to the design. The flush actuator is sort of the jewelry of the bathroom. It's great if you're able to sort of match it either with the wall materials, or you have the option of matching it with fixtures or fittings like faucets and such. So we have everything from just like a simple white to a stainless or even like the brushed bronze and glass options. Just a lot of different options, as well as even customize. If you're looking to kind of custom make your plates, you can actually do that. Oop. And a lot of, these actuators can actually be installed on the back wall, or we have remote actuators that, allow for you to have it on the side. Then this is great for ADA as well. So big way that this is used is the large flush is usually flushed at 1.6 or 1.28 gallons per flush, and then the small one is a 0.8. So it reduces the overall usage a lot of times. So we have a lot of new styles. We have tone on tone products, which is just that, the plate itself as well as the buttons are the same finish. We have everything from black, matte black, glass, and a lot of different like metal finishes to either plastic or yeah, just a lot of different styles to choose from. It's like about over 100. So if you ever look at our catalog, you can see those. This is just kind of showing a little bit of the options that we have. On the right-hand side, you'll also see that it's paired with a remote button, and that's like a touchless remote button that you can use as well, and pair that with a manual button on the back if you'd like. So touchless flush plates have been something that's really kind of become more and more important, especially with COVID. In 2018, there was actually a study done that a lot of times with a lidless type toilet, the fecal microbes can actually spread up to about 65 square feet, and so they can actually contaminate a lot of the nearby surfaces, which is why using a touchless plate is a really good option. You can actually have this either in battery powered or electrical, and it can provide up to about 200 flushes per 2 years. And having a manual override is also kind of an important part if you're using an ADA type of flush. And the last one part is having the, actually, can you hit the, oh, actually, can you go back 1 second? Sorry. There's actually an app that we have that's available that gets paired with the touchless, and it's a free app. It actually can do everything from just using changing the settings. If you want it to flush after 3 seconds or 5 seconds, you can do that. You also have the ability to do any kind of analytics when it comes to when are the times that you use the restroom the most, especially in more public facilities. And also it can actually remote flush. So if you forget to flush the toilet and you go back to your desk or something, you can actually do it from your phone. So it's kind of a neat feature also. And that pretty much concludes my part of the presentation. I really thank you for your attention and your time. And yeah, feel free to call me if you have any questions.
Our next speaker from Geberit, May Falcone, is the New York District Sales Manager for Geberit and oversees specifier relationships. She consults with architects, designers, and engineers on their new design, renovation, and adaptive reuse projects. She has been in the plumbing industry for 18 years, where she worked directly with clients for a major distributor, showroom, and manufacturer. May is going to be joining us to discuss Geberit's sustainability efforts, the in-wall carrier systems and flush plates, and applications for their use. May, the floor is yours.